Hey guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Tim Benz, Omar Khan already has one different approach than Kevin Colbert. In the 21 months since Omar Khan took over for Kevin Colbert as the Pittsburgh Steelers general manager, we have spent a lot of time trying to figure out ways the two men might be different. Khan may be a little more aggressive in free agency and moving up the draft board than his longtime mentor was. Then again, Colbert started to get a little more aggressive late in his career, too. Plus, like Khan, Colbert swung some splashy draft day moves as well by trading up for Troy Polamalu and Devin Bush. There's one glaring example of how Khan is very similar to his predecessor, though. Just like Colbert, he gives next to nothing in terms of tidbits to the media. In fact, Khan may give even less. At least the vast nothingness Colbert always advanced was in longer soundbites. So when Khan spoke to reporters in Indianapolis at the NFL Scouting Combine, you weren't really expecting any revelations, were you? If you were, you didn't get any, especially in regard to the quarterback position. Pretty much everything Khan said was in 100% lockstep with the offseason messaging of the franchise, as previously stated by owner Art Rooney too, head coach Mike Tomlin and new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. If you missed those talking points, they are as follows. The team has total belief that Kenny Pickett will rediscover the flashes he showed at the end of his rookie season and last summer that made Pittsburgh so optimistic that he could prove worthy of being a top 20 pick in the 2022 draft. I have full faith in Kenny. He's shown us some good things, Khan said via Triblave's Joe Rutter at the Combine in Indianapolis. Arthur is optimistic about Kenny. Hatt said, the franchise pledges Pickett will have some sort of competition for the starting job, even though it is decidedly non-committal about how to acquire that competition, as in, via the draft, a trade, or free agency. I'm not going to go into details about conversations we've had, but I can tell you, I have an obligation to look at every avenue that is out there to make us a better football team, Khan said. We'll have some strong competition there. The organization is interested in Mason Rudolph returning at quarterback. But it isn't dissuading him from testing the free agent market. I think every player owes it to himself, Khan said. We would like to have him back, and I believe he wants to come back and compete. He likes it here, and we've had a good experience with Mason. All that tracks, doesn't it? Pretty much all the talking points were hit. Maybe better said, all the talking points were talked around. However, there's one thing Khan said about the quarterback situation that stuck out to me. Obviously, there were some issues with the offense, and I'm excited about the impact Arthur is going to have on Pickett, Khan said at one point. Of anyone in a position of power within the franchise, that may be the first time we've heard the "let's see if Kenny is better without Matt Canada" angle. It's a potentially sound premise. Indeed, Pickett had limited time to show his worth after Canada was fired following a Week 11 loss in Cleveland. Pickett won the next game in Cincinnati 16-14, then got hurt early in Week 13 against the Arizona Cardinals. He never saw the field again. While Mitch Trubisky couldn't make the post-Canada offense work much better in 2.5 games, Rudolph came right in and won the season's last 3 games to make the playoffs. I'm still dubious of any theory that suggests the Steelers would have gone the necessary 3-0 under Pickett to make the postseason that Rudolph willed into existence. I'm not willing to couch Rudolph's accomplishments like that. He earned full praise for what he did, posting a 74% completion percentage and a 120 passer rating. However, I am willing to concede that, against those poor defenses from Cincinnati and Seattle that Rudolph cooked, plus Baltimore's backups in Week 18, Pickett did miss an opportunity to look better without Canada in the mix. That's fair. And if the blue and gold wearing, Golden Panther Pickett fanboys on social media are allowed to talk themselves into that narrative, why can't the general manager of the team? George Pickens gets shout out at NFL Combine by Noah Strackbine, Sports Illustrated, Pittsburgh Steelers news, analysis, and more. The Pittsburgh Steelers have gotten some love during the NFL Combine, with many prospects mentioning how big of an impression head coach Mike Tomlin made on them during meetings. But one of their players received some praise for his work on the field, and a lasting impression with one of the NFL draft's top defenders. During his press conference with the media, Alabama cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry was asked who the toughest player to guard was during his college career. His answer was Steelers wide receiver and former Georgia Bulldogs star George Pickens. "Pickens just don't let any ball hit the ground no matter how good you got him covered," McKinstry said. "He's always gonna find a way to come up with a grab." Alabama and Georgia are no strangers at the college level, and the SEC battles between the two have included plenty of top-tier NFL talent. Pickens has already made his impact on the league known, and McKinstry is trying to do the same. Instead of matching up against each other, the two former rivals may meet on the same practice field next season, as the Steelers met with McKinstry at the NFL Combine. "We didn't watch any football in there," McKinstry said. "It was kind of a background type of deal. Wanted to know where I'm from, family, my upbringing, high school, college, why did I choose what college I went to?" The Steelers are likely looking at a cornerback in the first round of the NFL draft, and McKinstry could be near the top of their list. Coming from the SEO and a school like Alabama, he'll have plenty of NFL-level opponents under his belt heading to the pros. Steelers showing strong interest in versatile defender at Scouting Combine. The Steelers have several holes to fill on their roster this offseason, making their number 20 overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft even more important. Many have linked Pittsburgh to selecting an offensive lineman, such as Georgia offensive tackle Amarius Mims or Oregon center Jackson Powers Johnson, with its first-round pick. However, the team seems to be considering using it on a versatile defender instead. Iowa DB Cooper Dejean said on Thursday that he's met with the Steelers, specifically head coach Mike Tomlin and defensive coordinator Terrell Austin, a few times already at the NFL Scouting Combine. "They're great guys. They're fun to talk to. Really, really cool laid-back guys. Fun to talk football with, for sure," Dejean told reporters, via Steelers Depto. Dejean has posted 120 tackles, 7 interceptions, 13 passes defensed and 3 touchdowns over the past 3 seasons at Iowa. He has also returned 31 punts, averaging 13.1 yards per return with 1 touchdown. The 21-year-old currently ranks as Pro Football Focus best cornerback and number 7 overall prospect on its big board. However, in most of the experts' mock drafts, Dejean has been projected to be taken near the end of the first round. Why? It likely has to do with his health. In mid-November, Dejean broke his leg, which forced him to miss the Hawkeyes' final 4 games of the season, including the Big Ten championship game. Dejean underwent surgery but gave some promising news about how his recovery is going. "I've been rehabbing ever since," Dejean said, via Jeff Legwold of ESPN. "I just started running full speed last week. I plan on working out at some point before the draft. I am medically cleared. I'm just progressing right now." If Pittsburgh feels good about Dejean's health, it has a good chance to land him at pick number 20. Dejean understands that could happen, but also acknowledged whichever team takes a chance on him will be getting a true football player. "Being able to play multiple different positions, I think that's an advantage coming into this league, to be able to play wherever they put me," Dejean added, via ESPN. "It doesn't matter to me, to be honest. I just want to play ball." Iowa defensive back Cooper Dejean, a unanimous All-America selection despite missing the final few games with a lower leg injury, declared for the NFL Draft on Thursday. "These past 3 years have been filled with memories that will last a lifetime," Dejean posted to X, formerly Twitter. "Putting on the black and gold and playing in Kinnick Stadium has been a dream of mine since I was a little kid, and it has been everything I expected and more." ESPN NFL draft analyst Mel Kiper Jr. projects Dejean as the number 13 overall prospect for the draft as well as the top draft-eligible cornerback. Dejean, a native of Old Bolt, Iowa, had 2 interceptions and 5 pass breakups in 10 games, while not allowing a touchdown in 388 snaps of coverage. He also excelled as a returner, averaging 11.5 yards on punt returns while returning a 70-yarder for a touchdown against Michigan State, while having another against Minnesota overturned because of what officials deemed an invalid fair catch signal. And you fan, what do you think of the Dejean situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.